In order to start creating toolpaths, we need to establish what kind of CNC machine we'll be working with. And we do that by clicking on the Machine tab and then picking one of these options over here on the left. Now, there's plenty of exotic tools like a wire cutter, for example, we could use, but in this video tutorial series, I'll assume you're working with a simple 3-axis CNC mill. I click on Mill and then I click on Default. That will put a red bar over the top of the Toolpaths tab, and now we expose all the different machining operations or MOPs that can be used with a 3-axis CNC mill. What I can also do at this point before selecting a specific MOP is to establish a stock that we'll be using to carve away from. I should also take the opportunity to delete this test piece of geometry so that now all I've got in the frame is the material I'd like to cut. Over here in the Toolpaths window, and if that's not showing, by the way, I can click on View and then toggle on Toolpaths. I'll click on the plus next to Properties, and that gives me the option to pick Stock Setup. Now there's lots and lots of options here, but the simplest way to do this is to select Bounding Box, and then I select geometry that the bounding box should be based upon, end my selection, and you'll see that I get the smallest possible rectangle that can fit that material inside of it. I'll switch my graphical view to isometric, and we can see that right now the bounding box is entirely flat, so we'll want to give it a little bit of depth. And to do that, I'll set an anchor point here on the left that's at the top of the stock because we want that stock to grow into negative Z territory. Now I can give my Z depth a value of 5, and if I click in another field, we'll see that update. So this is a good start, but if you think about it, there's not any place for my clamps to hold on to this material yet. So we actually want the stock to be larger on the X and Y axis. To do that, I'll select the center as the origin point for my stock. And let's expand this maybe to 75 millimeters square. Now, depending on your actual clamping setup, you may need more material than that. And if you wanted to do that, you can continue to update it, say 100 by 100. Once we're confident that we have the right thickness of stock, and there's enough room all the way around to offer space for either clamps or screws, we're ready to actually toolpath this design.